Cage, it was me, Cage, and another guy, Damien. We were childhood friends. We all grew up together, and it didn't even really like. It wasn't even nothing that was like, yo, let's be a group. It was like we just always hung out together. Cage MC'd, I MC'd, and I DJ'd a little, and I was working on making beats. I just didn't have equipment at the time, so it was one of those things where it was like, okay, well, we might as well just do this then. So Damien, he didn't really have any particular skill besides dancing. So and at that time, it was like every MC pretty much had dancers on stage. So it was like Cage was the MC. I was kind of like the Fife dog, secondary MC, sort of, and not to disrespect Fife, because that's not what I'm getting at, but you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where once we get a little more equipment, I was going to be making the beats. You know, it was going to be, one of those things, but we were just it was a little raw and organic at the time, so it was more ideas, you know what I'm saying, than actual physical material to work with. So it was like, okay, well, once we get to this point, this is what everyone is going to do. You know, it was one of those things. A friend of ours named Marbles, he knew a guy, Keyway, and Keyway was real good friends with Pete Nice. So when he introduced Cage to Keyway, Keyway pretty much introduced Cage to Pete Nice, and from there, it was just like, we just started, it was just like a hangout thing, Pete would take us to all the parties on the guest list, and we just hang out. So it's funny, like, by the time I even had one single out, I had met and seen so many MCs, and, it was like the whole starstruck thing was just gone now. It was gone now, you know what I mean? So in actuality, it made it a little more fun and less, but that's pretty much it. Like, Pete was just taking us to parties and, stuff like that. Cage was supposed to make so we were supposed to make a few songs for Def Jam to listen to, for, whatever. But it was like, I guess they kind of wanted Cage to be solo. So I guess there was still a little bit of a problem with the fact that we were a group, So, I mean, we was going for a little while, but then we were in the studio one time, and we did a song where it was going to be the first Muddbones song that I had appeared on vocally. But then the manager came into the booth, and he was like, yo, I think your rhyme is not really up there, and it's not really up to par with Cage's rhyme a little bit. I think you should either stay off this song or let Cage write your verse. And that's when it was pretty much like, okay, Cage is going to have to be solo. Because even if I quit, I'm still not going to even if I'm just rapping in the hallway, I'm not going to let somebody else write my rhymes. That defeats the whole point. Like, I taught Cage how to MC. I'd be damned if I'm going to let him write a rhyme for me. It didn't even make sense. His first rhyme was a copy of my rhyme. Why would I let him start writing rhymes for me? So his manager wasn't understanding that, so it was pretty much a little bad feelings between me and his manager for a little while. And I just pretty much kind of left the group and went solo. Sometimes it could be the beat, the style of the beat. Sometimes I'll think of a chorus, but the chorus will have a weird flow to it. So then I start playing with the flow, with the rhyme. But mostly, I just put the pen on the paper, and it's like, I guess in some cases it's automatic writing, I guess. Like, I guess I got a lot of things that's in there, and sometimes it comes out through my hand, and I can't, probably anything that can happen, anything, like an email from somebody giving me a call, something I saw at the store. Like, I mean, anything can inspire me. But I must say, a lot of times, silence inspires me. Like, when there's silence, I get way more ideas. I get a lot of things coming. So it's like, I try to spend the majority of my time. It's like, if I'm not emceeing, I'm probably quiet. So it's like, to be honest, you don't really have to interview me. Anything you want to know, you can really listen to the music, because as far as that goes, I just put everything in there, because that's where I do my talking. Yeah, he was a poet. He played congas, and he was an artist too. He drew. He was just so nasty, and it just like, since the beginning of my life, it always felt like a natural thing for me to do. Like, it was almost like there was nothing else I was gonna do. My uncle used to bring me to the park and bring his congas out, and he used to take me to Brooklyn, and they used to play the congas with all the Hispanics and the West Indians, and he'd jump out of the car and they'd scream his name, like he was just like, yo, so it's like, my family come from, they're very artistic people, and I guess the scene that they were on, everyone, like my father sang doo-wop, at some point, like, and when he died, a few of his friends came to his funeral and they're like, yo, your father was the nastiest doo-wop singer in all the land. Like, he was the dopest dude in Harlem. They couldn't see him. So it's like, I always felt like all my life, it always kind of felt like I had to hold up a musical legacy that my family has sort of carried on amongst real people. You know what I'm saying? Amongst real people. So it's like, there's 1,000 people who like, well, Masai's dad was a musician, he was a poet. Who the hell is he? Nobody knows his dad, who cares? But you could go to like Mount Morris Park right now and it's like, you go to Harlem right now in town and it's like, you Buddha's son, you Sonny's boy? Oh man, it's a rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be famous there because of who my father was, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I felt like all my life I had to keep going with a certain legacy, keep the family traits going. It's like, artists come from families of artists. Like, that's just the way the universe works. Like, these energies, you know what I'm saying? You're born into this world, into a certain karmic family. So the people in your family, it's your blood, may not necessarily be your spiritual family. That's just your earth family, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's so many different things going on, and I just felt like I had to carry on something. And it didn't feel like I had to do it because I wanted to. It just felt like it just felt natural. I noticed that there were a lot of talents that my father had and a lot of things he did and said that I identified with so much. So it's like, when my parents broke up, I was still living in my father's world. Like, my father, the dude was just, next to God, my father, man. My father was real. I don't play any instruments. I play keyboard by ear. In fact, I got a CD I want to give you. It's I'll send it to you actually, but it's an instrumental, instrumental break record. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't play any instruments, but I play keyboard by ear. Like, I can hit a note. I know which note should go after that one. If I know that one don't sound right. So I just roll with that, man. Hands. Everybody got like 5 computers hooked up, all these synthesizers hooked up, all these synth programs, and it's like, they run everything through the echo chamber or something, and it's like, me, I might just change the volume in the MP for that sound and fade it myself. So it's echoing out. So friends were like, yo, that's dope how you got the echoes going like that. My machine don't do that. And it's like, but that's more manual. So I would say most of my style is still pots and pans. While everyone moved into the 23rd century, I guess, I'm still in the 19th. Like, I'm still banging on pots and pans, comparatively. Right. Some stuff for a group called the Creepazoids. I've done a couple of things for Uncommon Records. It's like, but I guess it's one of those things where no one really asks me for beats, so they don't really go out that much. You know what I mean? They don't really go out that much.